Hello all, welcome to the fourth session of this Decode Prelims series of videos. In the first two videos, I have discussed 2022 questions using various elimination techniques, and I have started 2021 series from the third video. Those who have not seen those videos, I have shared the link. Please go and see there. And this is about me. I have cleared 4 UPSC CSA prelims, including 3 forest service cutoff marks. You can see my marks here. And as a recap, I have given you 5 to 6 mantras in second video, where I have said that first, whenever you are seeing a question, first identify the extreme statement questions and see whether that option is correct or wrong. Just don't outrightly eliminate it. The earlier technique used to be, most of the times extreme statement would be wrong, but UPSC is making the technique redundant. That's why identify and apply the knowledge you are having with respect to the technique. For example, in the first video, I have shown you that a question related to the transferred and related reserved subjects. In 2022, they have asked you a question about transferred and reserved subjects with respect to Government of India Act 1919. Using this technique of knowledge or the knowledge you are having about British rule, you could have easily answered that question. Next, trust your sources. This also I have shown you is the example of polity questions in third video. Next, don't read between the lines. What do you mean by this? I have shown you in the second video. Now let's start the discussion. First question, it's related to some bond market or government bonds. Now in the first video, there was a question in 2022 prelims with respect to credit rating agencies. Those who have seen that video, just pause the video and check. There I have given an elimination technique, whether you are able to apply it or not, and verify for yourself whether you are following what I am trying to convey. And those who have not seen, instead of listening to this technique I am here, first go to the first video and see that credit rating elimination technique I have given there. Okay. Now coming back, see the third statement. The Central Depository Service Limited is jointly promoted by RBI and Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay. On the one hand, Bombay Stock Exchange, it deals with stock market. On the other hand, he is saying RBI. Either Bombay Stock Exchange has to be wrong or RBI has to be wrong. Any one has to be wrong. If you know that what do you mean by Central Depository Services Limited, you could have easily answered this question. Even if you don't know, these two statements don't agree well with respect to this, because one deals with stock market and other deals with generally with it's a regulatory agency with respect to the creation of money and other things. RBI, you know this. So this statement is outrightly wrong. Now come to second statement. So some students should get doubt. If not, they are not following this elimination technique I am saying here. The negotiator, on one side, you are saying that this question is about stock market. Here, second statement, it is mentioning RBI. However, see the statement. The negotiated dealing system order matching is a government securities trading platform. Though it is related to securities, government securities, who will issue government securities? It's not SEBI or any other agency. It is RBI. Then obviously that platform would be managed by RBI, right? Understand the relation, elimination technique, what I am trying to convey. Okay. Here it is completely different context. RBI is coming in different context. Here, however, the function of this is core function of RBI, issuing government securities. That's why this statement is right. So remove 3 and check for where 2 is there. Once you remove these 3, this is gone, and 2 should be there. If 2 is there, 1 also is there. Easy, right? Instead of following random elimination techniques available, if this statement is there, then this statement would be wrong. Don't follow such techniques. Use your logic. Next, in India, the central banks function as the lender of last resort. Usually refer to which of the following. Again, this technique is don't read between the lines, because this is an easy question, but several of my students, they have marked this question wrong just because they read in between the lines. See, lender of last resort and central bank. So India central bank is RBI. Now, if you know that what are the functions of RBI, which we would have read in our static books or basic books, then easily we could solve this question. Now, in India, the central banks function as the lender of last resort, lending to the trade and industry bodies when they fail to borrow from other sources. Seriously, RBI lend to any trading bodies? Doesn't make sense. Providing liquidity to banks, having a temporary crisis. You all know that there are through various repo operations or reverse repo operations, banks borrow money or keep money with RBI, leading to government to finance budgetary deficits. Yes, if it was before 2000, this would have been true. But in our static books, we would have read that government borrowing from RBI is banned under FRBM Act. So remove this statement also. So some students actually they have marked this option also correct. But once you have knowledge of this FRBM Act, which we read in our static books, we could eliminate this option also. So answer is 2 only. That's why don't read in between the lines and apply the knowledge you are having. Next, Part 2 Code of Practices constitutes a tool available for promoting the adoption of. This I have discussed in the first video, where question related to greenwashing was asked in 2022 prelims. I have said that UPSC of late has been asking definition terms in UPSC prelims, especially with respect to environment portion. See, this is also environment related term. And I will show you the same question in the same year in the next slides. R2 Code of Practices. See, most of us would not be aware, but most of us would be aware R3 technique, right? Reduce, reuse, refuse, or recycle, R4 technique. That is related to reduction of environmental pollution or sustainable production and consumption. Now see, which is close to that R3 or R4 principle and also related to environment. Option E, environmentally responsible practices in electronics recycling industry. Though all are related to environment, our understanding of R3 and R4, reduce, refuse, recycle, it is related to product consumption, sustainable consumption, or recycling. It is closely related to environmentally responsible practices in electronics recycling industries. In such questions, you need to take bit of risk. What is blue carbon? Again, same logic and same formula UPSC is following in environmental portion. Blue carbon. Again, easy question. Just pause the video and check yourself whether you are able to attempt this question or not. Blue, the term blue denotes, see, forest, generally green, petroleum, yellow or something else. Carbon present in the atmosphere, not sure of the color, but oceans. So little blue color denotes that oceans. Answer is E. Next, from the decline of Guptas until the rise of Harshavardhana in the early 7th century, which of the following kingdoms were holding power in northern India? Guptas of Magadha, Paramars of Malwa, Pushyabhutis of Thaneshwar, Maukaryas of Kanuj, Yadavas of Devagiri, Maitrakas of Vallabhi. From the decline of Guptas. So we all know that Guptas from the beginning of 4th century to the late 6th century. It means from around 323 CE to 550 CE. This was the time period. And this every UPSC student knows because it is available in every book also. And rise of Harshavardhana, he only said that early 7th century. He only gave clue, even though if you don't know what is the time period that coincides with the rise of Harshavardhana. Now, see, on the one side, he said that there is a decline of Guptas. On the other hand, he is saying as Guptas of Magadhas. If at all Guptas of Magadhas were there during Gupta period itself, why would he separately give it as an option? Think logically. Because Guptas of Magadha, if at all it existed, easily they would have merged into the Gupta kingdom only. However, since we are mentioning as Guptas of Magadha as a separate kingdom, it means when the decline of Gupta started, some branch of Guptas would have ruled Magadha part. And they would have continued, probably. So check for the options where 1 is there. This is not there, this is not there. And you are left with 1, 2, 5, 1, 3, 4, 6. Now come to the technique of use your knowledge that you have with respect to the topic. Now here it's about ancient to medieval part. Now see this question. Yadavas of Devagiri. Every one of us would have read about Khilji. Now the first southern kingdom occupied by Khilji is Yadavas. And Khilji, he comes in 13th century, 12th to 13th century. And here he's asking about 7th century only. And Yadavas of Devagiri, since it is the first kingdom, they would not have been there in 7th century. That long they would have, if they have ruled, then they would have been the longest ruling power in ancient or medieval India. And remove this. And you are left with 1, 3, 4, 6. I hope these videos are being useful to you. Thank you.